Right, ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker holds a special place in the heart of Axial Spondyloarthritis Association of South Africa. As our vice-chairperson, Lauren Angelil's commitment to the community and the well-being of individuals living with AXPAR is both profound and heartful. Lauren is not just a dedicated leader within our association, she is also a registered physiotherapist and a certified functional health coach. Her journey in the healthcare system has ignited a passion within her, one that is dedicated to helping individuals lead lives filled with health and vitality. But what sets Lauren apart is her expertise in making behavioral change happen. She's a true expert in understanding the intricate processes of change, a skill that has touched the lives of many. Recently, she has focused her talents on exploring the challenges and support to exercise in people with axial spondyloarthritis. Today, Lauren will share her insights on a topic that impacts the well-being of our community, barriers and supports to exercise. Her expertise promises to provide us with valuable insights on how to overcome challenges and embrace the support needed to lead healthier lives. AXPAR Warriors, please join me in giving a warm virtual welcome to our Vice Chairperson, Lauren Angelil.
Hi everyone, thanks so much Matt for that warm introduction, and I'm so happy and glad to be here with you all. I'm going to share my screen and I hope you can all see this screen. It's a colorful presentation and I see AXPAR as a very colorful condition. There's lots of different parts to it. And I think that's really has been highlighted in this AXPAR Summit today.
Sorry, so today I'm not seeing your screen at the moment, so it's just blank.
Okay, interesting. Let me see. Social window. Do you see this?
No, it's still dark.
Maybe. Give me a moment.
No problem.
Lauren, so we can see the Teams screen that you have up. Yeah, so if you can have your presentation and put it in presentation mode. There we go. Perfect.
Perfect. Thanks,
Great.
Lauren.
Perfect. Thank you. So AXPAR is a very colorful condition, and I think that's really been highlighted today in our summit. And I'll be talking about these barriers and supports to physical activity in AXPAR. And Corné, our other physio who so graciously offers her time and expertise in our association, also did a talk today about physical activity, and she did a incredible talk. And I'm leaving all of that nitty-gritty stuff to her and just focusing on the supports to physical activity and the barriers. But for now, I want you all to think about, on a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with your movement? Where 1 is I'm not satisfied at all, 10 is I'm 100% satisfied right now. You can just take a mental note of it. And everyone is individual, so it's really it depends on you how you respond to that question. Just keep it in mind. So who am I? A quick introduction, and this is usually the most boring part of presentations. I'm going to really run through it. I'm a physiotherapist and health coach. I just completed my master's in physiotherapy with a specialization in behavioral medicine. Very much about habit formation and reversal, supporting people to put good habits into place around lifestyle, and preventing some of the chronicity that we see in chronic illnesses. My thesis was understanding the barriers and facilitators to physical activity in South Africans with AXPAR. And I'm so grateful for everyone who was involved in the thesis. We had 65 people who filled out questionnaires from our association and 10 people who joined us for interviews. And with all that rich data, we put together some really interesting findings around what supports people to get out and moving and what hinders them. And just to be clear, when I talk about physical activity, it can be not only exercise. Most people think about going to the gym, slogging it out on the treadmill, jumping on a bike. That's included, but other forms of physical activity like doing a deep clean of your home, hanging up the washing, going for a walk outside, those kinds of things which often aren't acknowledged definitely fall into this physical activity arena. I'm also an AXPAR supporter. My husband has AXPAR. He was diagnosed when he was 23. It was a very swift diagnosis, and I'm so appreciative of it. And I think partly because I was in physiotherapy school at the moment, and I remember reading my physiotherapy notes on AXPAR and was like, wow, this sounds like Tim, my husband. And he's done incredibly well. We are very grateful at the place that he is right now. He's able to manage it with diet and lifestyle, and he's running a lot. He's doing ultra marathons and is loving it. We're very aware that he has the AXPAR. He's predisposed to AXPAR, so it's always at the back of our mind. And I think that's also something that's a reality for all of us. Maybe you're experiencing daily pain. Maybe you know that you're managing it really well, but the pain could come back soon. And I hope that this presentation today will help you to figure out what really supports you in getting out and moving, as we know that this is a cornerstone of AXPAR management. So what you'll get today, I'm going to share a bit of an approach to well-being and healthcare that we're moving into in the world that's really supportive of our AXPAR patients. I'm also going to share the results of the master's thesis, and I'm so excited because this is so South African focused. It's within the context of our association. Everyone was a part of our association. We have a range of ages, about 50-50 on male and female, so also it's a range of interesting and important elements of challenges or supports to exercise within AXPAR. Now you may be wondering, why am I seeing a door and some keys here? I look at the barriers to AXPAR as these doors. We all have dreams in our life. One of our participants said that she really wanted to swim mid-mile. That was one of her goals. And she had come up against some barriers, and those are the doors. You're on your journey to swimming mid-mile, and you come across just something that you can't get through it. Something that's in your way, and there's no going through, and it feels like there's no going through. And then on the other side, there are these keys. And the keys are the things that unlock the door. And maybe you try one key, it doesn't work. You try another key and that works perfectly. So those are our supports. What helps us to unlock the door, and you can take that step forward into your dream. I want you to keep that in mind as we're going through. So this approach that I want to share, and I want to speak about this because I think it's an important move and switch that we're seeing in healthcare that is so supportive of the patient. The old previous model is very one-dimensional. It's disease-orientated. And we saw that in AXPAR, where there was a uni-focus on physical symptoms and treating physical symptoms. AXPAR, it's changed names a number of times, but We used to think that it was only back pain, and we now know it affects many other joints. The old paradigm also says that the doctor is the head and he will tell you what to do. And this is not empowering for patients. It's also one size fits all model. These are the things that need to be done, and these are the things that works for everyone, and life isn't that simple. We're moving away from that. It's also quite fatalistic. If you Google Axbar and you go to the images, you really don't want to see those images. It makes you believe that all Axbar is a chronic condition that is degenerative. And I think that this is quite disempowering for patients too. The other side of it is this well-being approach. It's health-orientated instead of disease-orientated. We look at the well-being of people. It's collaborative and it's a client-centered model of care, which means that you as the person who is experiencing Axbar is in the center, and you're in control of who you're engaging with as your rheumatologist, who you're engaging with other members of your team, such as your psychologist or physiotherapist, and you have choices. We're treating the whole person here. It's not just about the physical symptoms. It's about your mental health. It's about how you're feeling as an individual. It's about your social support. It's not just about, here's your medication. This is a quick fix, off you go. It's very individual. So you will have a tailored program that fits you. And it's also optimistic, that there is hope and optimism, that things are manageable, that you're able to overcome challenges, and I know that you all can, and that you can live a life where you're able to achieve all of those goals that you want to set out to do. So this well-being approach is the one that I'm speaking about, and I've heard so many other of our talks here speak about it too. There is the body, the heart, and the mind, and we're looking at all of these. And I think as you're reflecting on your own approach to health and Axbar, think about how much time and attention is put into focusing on your body, focusing on your heart, and then focusing on your mind. And I think it's important to have the sense of balance to really achieve that sense of well-being. Okay, so into the barriers to physical activity. And while I've spent a lot of time in this data, and I've really tried to simplify it as much as possible, this is quite a big table, but I'm going to give you a brief overview, and then I'm going to go into some of those specific barriers and then focus more on the supports, because I think those keys that unlock the doors are really life-changing. So the first category we see is inappropriate care. And this has been, I think, one of the big ones that we've seen in our organization with such a long delay to diagnosis. This one also spoke about statements related to misbeliefs about exercise with Axbar. There is a myth that exercise plays no role in Axbar, or that exercise is the main cause of flare-ups. And actually the fact is that exercise is so helpful and it can reduce the disease activity. Participants expressed that healthcare professionals were sometimes inaccessible and not really sure about exercise. And one person said, "Oh, I worked so closely with my physiotherapist in the management of Axbar. I worked so closely with a rheumatologist, and for the life of me, I cannot remember that there was an emphasis that was placed on exercise." And some people say that they received like fear-inducing information about exercise. One person said, "You know, I was actually told to behave myself." And in that sense, they said that I was being too busy and too active, and being so busy and active that I was causing a lot of mechanical pain. And people said, no, you have to calm down and rest. And I think this is a bit of a double-edged sword, because in some ways rest is important, and reducing stress is important, but also we know that exercise creates that sense of motion is lotion. You feel so much better after exercise. There is endorphin effects, but it also helps to loosen up your joints. And we really don't want to create this fear and association of fear around exercise. The next one is an unsupportive external environment. And I think we see that there's not enough rheumatologists in South Africa, or difficulty accessing healthcare. And we also see that sometimes there's a lack of resources in terms of having access to exercise. Exercise in terms of going to the gym, or places that you can go and work out. Another one is this unhelpful mindset. There are, and we've heard people talking about today, and I'm so glad that we've had a range of professionals talking about some of the mental barriers and negative self-talk. I'm going to go into this a little bit later. I'm just going to leave that there. The last one is interaction of symptoms. And we know with Axbar, there's so many different kinds of symptoms that you could possibly get, and you're often balancing them. You're trying to figure out how many spoons do you have left? Did this take up too many spoons? And there's a lot of negotiating of what am I really feeling up to today? This is the one that I spoke about that was really a challenge. Care leading to misbeliefs about physical activity. And I think that this is really challenging for people, that they feel like exercise either wasn't emphasized, or that there was a lot of fear around exercise. And I know now that we're seeing more and more doctors say, these are the 3 things you have to do in your Axbar management. Take your medication if and when you prescribe the medication. Do exercise and educate yourself. And I'm so glad that this is coming out more and more, because that can really support you to manage your Axbar and the well-being around it. The next one is that mental barriers and negative self-talk. And this is one that I saw that there was quite a lot of negative comparisons. And comparisons can sometimes be great. It can be really inspiring to see someone who is walking park running every week, or doing the Argus, and you're like, hey, I can do that too. Look at them. I also have Axbar, and they have Axbar, and I can do it too. The difficulty comes in when there is a negative comparison that starts to happen, where you watch people who can do a gym session, Pilates session, and a 5 kilometer, and it feels self-defeating. Because maybe you're looking at it like, oh, I'll never do that. And there's a bit of shame, maybe a bit of low self-esteem. I really encourage you to catch yourself and your self-talk when you're thinking about these things. The supports, and I want to spend a bit more time here because I think the supports are so important, those keys. I'm really excited to share some of these supports, and we're going to be focusing on the mind, body, heart. And so the first one that I'm going to go into is that symptom relief. And I spoke about it earlier, and it's so important, what are the things that I can focus on that can reduce the the physical and mental symptoms that I'm feeling. And of course, this is quite a big topic. Here are some key things that I want you to take away. That knowledge is power. If you've been listening to everything in the summit, that's amazing sense of knowledge that you now have. The next one is move daily, and maybe it's just gently and slowly. We know that exercise supports and reduces the inflammatory responses. So especially in axial spondyloarthritis, and you can really live a fulfilling life if you're able to get out there and move gently and slowly. Sometimes it will be uncomfortable, but the overwhelming response that I heard people say is that you have no idea how good I feel after exercise. And this is a mixture of the endorphins coming through. It's a mixture of reducing your pain levels, and feeling the sense of satisfaction, going out there, and even if it's just a walk around the block or taking your kids out to the park, being outdoors and in nature, this can really be helpful. I mentioned it earlier, the pharmacological intervention when and if necessary. We often see with patients that they're struggling to sleep. If they're in a flare-up and the pain is really unmanageable, it's really important that you are getting pharmacological intervention to support you, because what we see is that if you're not having a good night's sleep, your pain experience the very next day will be impacted. It will be worse. Your tolerance to pain is much worse after you haven't been sleeping well. Good to have that at the back of your mind too. It's like, oh, why am I feeling sore today? Does this mean that I'm not managing my axSpA very well? Might just be that you haven't had a good night's sleep, and that impacts everything. Eat real foods. I'm a big believer of eating real foods. Eating foods that have been grown from the ground, your fruit and vegetables and meats, eggs, fish. I think it's really important to cut out those pro-inflammatory foods like the sugars, the processed grains, industrial seed oils. This can support in reducing your inflammatory markers. And then back your body. You can be the biggest cheerleader of your body, and our mind definitely impacts our body. So if you have those negative thoughts, negative associations, your body will feel that too. I want you to watch how you're speaking to your body. I'm so glad we had Barry talking about it earlier. Really think it's important that we think positively, and I'm not thinking about rose-tinted glasses and toxic positivity at all. I'm wanting to cultivate us more of a sense of self-confidence, self-compassion, support, that you can take care of your body, and you have the confidence to get out there and get moving and support your body in the way that it really loves. The next key is that support. And the external support around us is really important. What we saw here is that support from family, friends, exercise partners, group exercise classes, and online communities was really helpful. We had one person that we spoke to at the beginning of our research who said he was hardly doing any exercise. And then 3 months later, he was suddenly doing all the recommended exercise, and we were like, wait, what happened? And he told us that he found a walking partner. He is now walking with someone 3 days a week, and every day they meet up. They are excited. It always makes a difference if you have an accountability buddy. You don't want to let the other person down. They take it easy. I think what was also key is that they were quite flexible too. So sometimes they would walk for 20 minutes, sometimes they would walk for an hour. It all just depended how it went. But that support of having someone waiting for you at 8 a.m. To go for a walk with you is really, really helpful. Yeah, if you got that commitment, you don't want to let them down. Okay, yes. And I think that the other part of this too is that you can cultivate this internal support. So celebrate your small wins. No matter how small they are, celebrate them. Yeah, if you get out, if you wake up in the morning and you do some gentle stretches in the morning before you get out of bed, that is a win. Your body will thank you for it, and you've put the time and effort to lubricate those joints. The last one that I have is self-compassion, and I heard Barry talking about it earlier today, which was great. This supporting your own mental health is incredibly important. There is an important part of being able to say, today was a difficult day for me, and I'm not going to force myself to go to the gym or go for a run. Maybe what I need today is to do some breathing exercises and to phone a friend. And this can be really helpful because you're connecting with how you're feeling, you're allowing yourself to be, and you're being flexible with your routine. There is no guilt or shame when you give yourself an off day. And I'm not saying you should eat all the junk food in the world to comfort yourself, but it's do things that are really comforting, like speaking to a friend, taking it easy. Yeah, maybe it's spending time with your pets, spending time with your loved ones, and increasing the sense of like joy and playfulness in your life, bringing up more positive emotions in your life when you're having a bad day. Somehow my presentation doesn't want to move. Matt, are you seeing what are the sports to physical activity?
I'm seeing what are the supports to physical activity. It's a key number 2 support, key number 3 self-compassion, key number 1.
There we go.
There we go.
Perfect. Okay. So just to go a little bit more into self-compassion is that we want to train your mind to respond to challenges with gentleness, action, and understanding instead of judgment and criticism. Be honest with how you're feeling, both physically and emotionally. Acknowledge that you're not alone in your challenges and speak to yourself with kindness. And a good trick is to think about if a friend came to you and feeling how you're feeling right now, what kind things might you say to that friend? This is all the supports that we found in our research, and you can just take a look at these supports here. I've gone through some of them. I feel like I could speak to all of these for a day, and I'm leaving it here for you to take a look at and see what are the things that you could look into to help you unlock those barriers and to help you move forward. So what next? I encourage you to think a bit more about where do you see your challenges to physical activity, and what opportunities do you see for yourself? And maybe you're thinking about the heart, mind, body approach. What are the things that you can spend the least amount of time on, but that will have the biggest impact on you? And then finally, what small area of support can you play around with within the next week? And you know that we're all here as part of the AXPAR team. I'm also here as a physiotherapist and a coach. If you have any questions, if you want me to share more research with you, and if you have thoughts on this presentation, we're all rooting for you. We know that you can get out there and get moving. We know that your body will thank you for it, and your mind will definitely thank you for it too. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much, Lauren. That was very insightful into all of your research and everything that you have done for us as our vice chair in the association. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible journey we've had today at the first ever SASA Virtual Summit. It's time to bring this remarkable event to a close, but before we do, there are some important acknowledgements and gratitude to express. First and foremost, let's extend our heartfelt thanks to all of our distinguished speakers, Dr. David Epstein, Linda Heemstra, Dr. Lawrence Kutsia, Corné van Ack, Jessica Spence, Barry Fillion, and Lauren Angelil. Your knowledge, expertise, and passion have illuminated the summit and enriched our understanding of axial spondyloarthritis. Your dedication to sharing your insights and experiences is deeply appreciated. To all of our attendees, each and every one of you has played an integral role in making the summit a success. Your presence, engagements, and commitment to learning and connecting have been the driving force behind today's event. A special note of gratitude goes to our dedicated SASA team of volunteers and supporters who work tirelessly behind the scenes to make the summit possible. Your efforts and enthusiasm are the foundation of our community's strength. To our sponsors and our partners, your support has been invaluable in helping us deliver this event and fulfill our mission. As we wrap up the summit, let's remember that the knowledge gained, the connections made, and the shared experiences we continue to inspire and empower us as we move forward. We encourage you to explore the recorded sessions, connect with fellow attendees, and stay engaged with SASA through our website and social media platforms. This summit is just the beginning of a journey towards better understanding, better management, and better lives for everyone touched by axial spondyloarthritis. Thank you for being a part of this historic day and for contributing to our shared mission of creating awareness, supporting each other, and easing the path to diagnosis. Together, we are stronger, and together we will continue to make a meaningful impact in the lives of those living with axial spondyloarthritis. With that, I officially declare the first SASA Virtual Summit concluded. Until we meet again, stay healthy, stay informed, and stay connected. Goodbye and take care.